Everybody, and welcome to Read the Bible with me. I'm Stan Jr. Today, we're looking at chapter 29 of the book of 2 Chronicles. I pray all is well with you, and if you're new here, go ahead and click subscribe to this channel and turn your notification bell on. It is reminding you that we are reading the Bible every day at 7 a.m. One chapter a day, every day, okay? You can do it. I believe in you. And if you are a Bible Club member, thank you so much for being a support to this ministry, making sure that we can continue doing this every day and making sure that we can send Bibles to people around the world that need them, as well as missionaries to the lost around the world every month. And I'm grateful to you for that, because you don't have to give zero. You don't have to give anything, but you do. And I'm grateful for your generosity. Let's look at chapter 29 of the book of Second Chronicles. And let's look at verse 1. Hezekiah began to reign when he was 25 years old, and he reigned 29 years in Jerusalem. His mother's name was Abijah, the daughter of Zechariah. And he did what was right in the eyes of the Lord, according to all that David his father had done. In the first year of his reign, in the first month, he opened the doors of the house of the Lord and repaired them. Wow, in the first year of his administration, he said, I want these doors open. He opened the doors and he repaired the doors. He brought in the priests and the Levites and assembled them in the square on the east, and said to them, Hear me, Levites, now consecrate yourselves and consecrate the house of the Lord, the God of your fathers, and carry out the filth from the holy place. For our fathers have been unfaithful and have done what was evil in the sight of the Lord our God. They have forsaken him and have turned away their faces from the habitation of the Lord and turned their backs. They also shut the doors of the vestibule and put out the lamps, and have not burned incense or offered burnt offerings in the holy place to God of Israel. Therefore the wrath of the Lord came on Judah and Jerusalem, and he has made them an object of honor and astonishment and of hissing, as you see with your own eyes. For behold, our fathers have fallen by the sword, and our sons and our daughters and our wives are in captivity for this. So he's saying everybody's mocking us, everybody's laughing at us, and they all know the reason is because we forsake our own God. Yes, the world laughs at Christians that forsake God. Unbelievers laugh at when a believer forsakes God. Don't think that they're happy for you. They're laughing at you. So, they also shut the doors. And this happened because they stopped. And so he says, now it is in my heart to make a covenant with the Lord. He said, it's in my heart to make a promise to God, the God of Israel, in order that his fierce anger may turn away from us. Finally, my sons, do not be negligent. For the Lord has chosen you to stand in his presence, to minister to him, and to be his ministers, and make offerings to him. Then the Levites arose, Mahath, the son of Amasai, and Joel, the son of Azariah, of the sons of the Kohathites, and of the sons of Merari, Kish, the son of Abdi, and Azariah, the son of Jehalelel, and the Gershonites, Joah, the son of Zimmah, and Eden, the son of Joah, and of the sons of Eliasaphan, Shimri, and Jeuel, and of the sons of Asaph, and Zechariah, and Mattaniah, and of the sons of Heman, and Jehuel, and Shimi, and of the sons of Jeduthun, Shemaiah, and Uzziel. They gathered their brothers and consecrated themselves, and went in as the king had commanded by the words of the Lord, to cleanse the house of the Lord. The priests went into the inner part of the house of the Lord to cleanse it, and they brought out all of the uncleanliness that they found in the temple of the Lord into the court of the house of the Lord. And the Levites took it and carried it out to the brook of Kidron, and they began to consecrate on the first day of the first month, On the 8th day of the month, they came to the vestibule of the Lord. Then for 8 days they consecrated the house of the Lord. And on the 16th day of the first month, they finished. Then they went to Hezekiah the king and said, "We have cleansed all the house of the Lord, the altar of the burnt offerings and its utensils, and the table for the showbread and all its utensils, all the utensils that King Ahaz discarded in his reign when he was faithless. We have made ready and consecrated, and behold, they are before the altar of the Lord." Then Hezekiah the king rose early and gathered the officials of the city and went up to the house of the Lord. And they brought 7 bulls and 7 rams and 7 lambs and 7 male goats for a sin offering for the kingdom of the sanctuary for Judah. And he commanded the priests, the sons of Aaron, to offer them on the altar of the Lord. So they slaughtered the bulls, and the priests received the blood and threw it against the altar. And they slaughtered the rams, and their blood was thrown against the altar. And they slaughtered the lambs, and their blood was thrown against the altar. Then the goats for the sin offering were brought to the king and the assembly, and they laid their hands on them. And the priests slaughtered them and made the sin offering with their blood on the altar to make an atonement for all Israel. For the king commanded that the burnt offering of the burnt offering of sin offering should be made for all Israel. And he stationed the Levites in the house of the Lord with cymbals and harps and lyres, according to the commandment of David, and of Gad the king's seer, and of Nathan the prophet, for the commandment was from the Lord through his prophets. And Levites stood with instruments of David, and the priests with the trumpets. Hezekiah commanded that the burnt offering be offered on the altar. And when the burnt offering began, the song to the Lord began also. And the trumpets, accompanied by the instruments of David, king of Israel, the whole assembly worshipped, and the singers sang, and the trumpeters sound. All this continued until the burnt offering was finished. And the celebration, when the offering was finished, the king and all who were present with him bowed themselves and worshipped. And Hezekiah the king of the officials commanded the Levites to sing praises to the Lord with the words of David and Asaph the seer. And they sang praises with gladness, and they bowed down and worshipped. Then Hezekiah said, "You have now consecrated yourself to the Lord. Come near, bring sacrifices and thank offerings to the house of the Lord." And the assembly brought sacrifices and thank offerings. And all who were of a willing heart brought burnt offerings. The number of the burnt offerings that the assembly brought was 70 bulls and 100 rams and 200 lambs. All these were for a burnt offering to the Lord. And the consecrated offerings were 600 bulls and 3,000 sheep. But the priests were too few and could not flay all the burnt offerings. So until other priests had consecrated themselves, their brothers, the Levites, helped them until the work was finished. For the Levites were more upright in heart than the priests in consecrating themselves. Besides the great number of the burnt offerings, there was a fat of the peace offerings, and there were drink offerings and burnt offerings. Thus the service of the house of the Lord was restored, and Hezekiah and all the people rejoiced, because God had prepared for the people, for the thing came about suddenly. So we see here quite clearly that Hezekiah reformed the church, got back to worshiping the God of the Bible, and honored him in his own temple. That was chapter 29 of the book of 2 Chronicles. Thank you so much for reading with me today. If you would like to support the ministry, click the link in the description. And if you would like to buy a t-shirt like this one, go to rtbwm.org or readthebiblewithme.org and you can buy yours there. Next time I see you, we'll be looking at chapter 30 of the book of 2 Chronicles. God bless you. Peace.